Pledge allegiance.
Thank you, George. Marv, you lead us in prayer, please.
Sure.
Okay, guys,
Monday.
you can see that, or I have passed out a PowerPoint this morning and a rear load packer panel operation demo back sign-off sheet. We're gonna have a safety stand down this morning. Ray, why would we have a safety stand down?
He's got injured and we got it learn how to do it properly.
Okay. You know, what are some of the things that can affect us?
Injured.
Okay,
Somebody else has to do the job.
okay, very good. So how do we handle that when an injury happens here? How do we handle that process?
Teamwork.
Okay. First point of contact, thank you. So when we have an injury happen and we go through a safety stand down to kind of train or to review the injury, to see what we could have done differently, how we should do it differently moving forward, how would you guys do this differently? You know, Brad and George, you guys are roll-off drivers, right? You still have pinch points?
Oh, yeah.
What are they?
Well, when we're opening and closing our doors to dump loads.
Okay. So how do you not get your fingers in there?
Make sure you get those push the open palms so we don't smash our fingers in there.
Right. What do we wear?
Gloves.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna go over this. Description, WM driver was tipping a can while the blade was back sweeping. The cart came from the tipper and fell into the hopper. With the tipper in the dumping position, the cart became stuck again on the tipper as the blade was retracting. The driver had his hand on the inside lip of the cart. The back of the blade and the inside lip of the cart became the pinch point. Does everybody have the picture of the, okay? Okay, good questions. Anybody else, Paul? What would be your question if you saw this?
Well, his hands in there.
Okay. What, why, how, and when, right? When were his hands in there?
Yeah.
Normally when I dump a cart, my blade is all the way up, my hopper's empty, I dump it in, drop the cart, and then I sweep it.
Okay.
I guess I've never had the blade going as I'm dumping, my blade's always up.
It's a very
The
good
hopper's
point.
empty and I dump it, put the cart down, and then sweep it. So I guess I've never done it, this procedure,
Okay.
where it's moving.
You can run that sweep while you're walking back to the truck, can't you?
You can.
Dump it and run the sweep while you're
Yeah,
walking back to the truck.
As soon as the cart hits the ground, you can pull levers and get sweeping and set the cart back and it's going over here.
Okay, so that's a way how we could eliminate having our hands, bodies, or anything else there when the blade is sweeping. That's excellent, thank you. So obviously you can see the picture of the injury. Thankful thing is what? Right. So takeaways. Gary, will you read the first bullet point for me, please?
The driver did not feel the blade's back sweep motion as injured due to the cart being loose from the tipper and not realizing the cart could get stuck in the pinch point.
Okay. Marvin, would you be so kind? Second one?
Stop and removing mechanical part before reaching into the hopper.
Okay. Brad, you do one for me?
Try to understand mitigate reactionary thinking and actions. Everything in the hopper is replaceable except you.
Okay. Somebody at the back table, anybody, grab the last one there.
You read it all.
You read the last.
Read it all.
The very bottom one,
I did it all.
everything in the hopper is replaceable except you.
You weren't being very good.
I wanted to repeat it on purpose. what's the most important asset that Waste Management has?
Go home at night.
Who is the most important? Who, and who? Brad,
Brad,
Dave, Paul, Brian,
Mike?
George, Mike, Marvin,
let's stick with
Gary.
Brad.
Oh, I said me, man.
Joey,
Joey?
and Ray. All right, guys. Rear load packer panel operation demo back sign off sheet. Ray, driver or helper must always check that no one is behind the hopper before cycling the packer panel. Check. Always operate the packer panel lever with the hand closest to the rear of the truck, making certain the body is away from the hopper area. Is that a check for everybody? Okay. Never reach into the hopper after the packer panel has started cycling. Never, never, never. Never push material back into the hopper as the packer panel is cycling. Do not run, operate the packer blade while riding on the step. So what are some key words in those bullet points?
Never and do not.
Great, exactly. Do not, never, never, never. Where do we hear this? From our kids, from our families, right? So it works, same thing. Never, never, do not. What should happen if your tipper is not working correctly? What should happen if the shop signs off on your write-up, but it is still not working properly? Okay. Okay.
Because mechanically, sometimes you think it's one thing and they try to fix it and it's not it. So you gotta go back and say, no, that didn't work, so you gotta let them know again. So they can try and-
Okay, that's a great point. What else do we do if something isn't working properly as a safety device on our trucks? What don't we do?
Don't take it.
Never disarm it.
Okay,
Don't take it.
very good.
Write it up again.
Write it up again. Don't use until fixed properly. What will you do if the cart falls into the hopper?
Here, look at it. Leave it alone.
Yes. What do you do, Brian? You ever had one go in?
Cart.
Yep.
Well, blades, like I said before, my blade is always up. So nothing's operating, and if the cart does fall in, I just grab the cart and pull it out.
Okay.
There's nothing operating, the blade is all the way forward.
And if
And
it is,
the wheels are right there, you know, sticking down, so you just grab on the wheel like that.
Okay. One more question. What else do you do during that process?
What else do I do?
What state is your truck in?
My truck's got a red button, you can actually push the red button in and it kills the whole PTO.
Okay, so,
You can drag the thing out and then pull her back out, you're back in action.
what do we call it? What? Lockout pay go. Okay, thank you. Dave, you were saying something?
you're good.
Go ahead.
No, I'm good.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you guys to, I've heard several different versions of what we do when we lose a cart in the hopper, be it a rear load or an ASL truck, and I'm not gonna get off track, but this team right here, what are we gonna do? What's gonna be our procedure in Bemidji when a cart goes in the hopper?
I'm gonna call you and tell you that you need to deliver different carts, I'm not going to get it.
Okay, has everybody agreed on that? I want this team right here in Bemidji to agree on what our procedure is gonna be. I'll defend the $50 that the cart costs all day long before I see somebody. I would rather that you don't stick your hands or your arms in that hopper, even if it's locked out, tagged out.
Even on a real, when the wheels are right there.
I'm just asking, what does this team wanna do collectively as a team? If we're gonna get the cart out, then we're gonna make a procedure for how we do that.
I would just make sure all your all your hydraulics is stopped, you know, everything is stopped, and then you should be able to proceed to pull the cart out safely.
And the wheels are sticking above usually the
On the
thing.
rear load, but on the side loads.
On the ASL, just let it buck.
Them, a rear load,
Right.
you know, you got an hour and a half to some of these customers, it doesn't make sense to crush a cart when you lock out, tag out, takes you a few seconds to do that and pull it out.
Okay,
You know,
that's a great
As
point.
far as, you know, the company's concerned about mileage and hours and time, well, it takes a few seconds to shut it off and grab the wheel and pull it out.
And their feet's on the ground, it's not up in the back.
Yeah, 'cause normally, if it goes in, you know, it's the back of the hopper, the cart is like this, you know, it doesn't fall. Normally, if it falls like that.
Okay. So that's a great point, Brian, and I agree with you 100%. That's what we call service, safety, and savings, right? To the company, to the customer. So, all agreed, ASL, if it goes in the hopper, you call me, we bring another cart out. Rear load, lockout, tagout procedure, and when are we gonna use that?
Cart goes in the hopper.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. So I, blank, Mike Gotti, have read, understand, and properly performed above rules associated with Packer and panel operation. I am committed to hand safety for myself and my team, and I will coach others if I see them not following the rules. Is everybody here committed to coaching? What are we gonna do if we see somebody else reaching in a hopper?
Coach them on what you should be doing.
Dave would have a hard time getting bin out of his hopper. Well, actually, we need a little, like a crane to get stuff out of mine. We don't have to worry about a pinch point there.
We have done that.
We will have that, we'll circle back later and have that conversation, Dave. Okay, so if everybody would be so kind as to sign. And then we will, head out in the shop, and I've got a cart by Brian's truck, and we'll do a little demonstration of